you have to learn to be this patient. Hi there. My name is Charles Ray Dawson. I'm the Associate Broker, Residential Sales Manager of ProStar Realty. This is the Unnamed Real Estate Podcast, episode 165. And how are you guys all doing today? Me? I'm doing pretty good. Got a haircut. I mean, wow. I was editing the last video and stuff, and I was like really looking at my hair going, this is getting ridiculous. And managed to carve the time out and get my hair cut because work-life balance, guys, that's what it's all about. All right. A lot of agents experience burnout because they let their, the dictates of the market and their industry and their own personal desires overcome sanity. And that's why the topic of this, the headline, the title of this episode is Service Beyond Sanity. Because I am damn amused and a little pissed off at the same time. All right. Be-missed? Yeah, I'm be-missed off. So, anyways, the reason why I'm be-missed right now is okay. We all know something bad just happened. We all know a lot of people are scurrying around to figure out what's going on. And it's this reoccurring theme of, well, realtors are just going to have to learn to be in a service industry now. And real estate agents actually sitting there and saying, oh no, we're sales. We're sales. This is a sales job. And let's just say I'm team service. All right. And I am team service beyond sanity. And let me make my argument to you why real estate is a service industry and not a sales industry. All right. Let's hit the numbers. And then we'll discuss service beyond sanity and how to protect yourself from your clients, from other agents. All right. And make sure your clients who you serve have the best experience possible. And your agents that work for your brokerage, you serve them and how they have the best career possible. All right. But first, I just want to bring up the numbers because we have plateaued. Okay, let's take a look at this, all right? Actives this week are 16,686, up 2 from last week. For you guys who religiously watch my numbers and everything like that, you think last week we went up 78. That is incorrect. I did not actually update the numbers reflecting the changes at all last week, all right? Last week we only went up 5, all right? This week we only went up 2. Plateaued. All right. You see our new listings are at 2,173, which is down 51 from the previous week. All right. And I can't remember what that number is off the top of my head, but it was also a very minuscule change. Our contracts were at 2,458, down 138 from the previous week. And our closings are at 2,169. Coming soon to an MLS near you is 762. Last week it was 752. Right. And then let's look at the Cromford report numbers under that. Supply has ticked up a little bit to 70.8, but still maintaining steady. Our demand is at 79.6, going down, right? Which gives us a Cromford report number of 112.5, which is less than the 113.6 it was last week, right? So we're still contracting on that side. On the Cromford report numbers, coming closer to alpha, coming closer to balance, a balanced market. We're almost there. Right. But as you can see, this is the peak of the spring listing rush. All right, I'm calling it. We've hit peak. All right, let's break it down to the individual cities and areas. All right, so we got Chandler still up there, that 207.7, up 2% month over month. But you notice they're slowing. But Gilbert's down, Glendale's down, Fountain Hills maintaining par. Okay, 161.3. This time last month they were at 161.8. And then Mesa, Tempe, Avondale, Phoenix, Scottsdale, all trending up, right? Phoenix still at 0. They're barely inking around down there, but they're still definitely in the seller's market at 150. All right. Scottsdale, seller's market at 126.1, up 4 from last month. So you see that change. Then we start hitting into the west side stuff, right? Right. We see Peoria down 7. Okay. 113.6. They continue this on. They're going to go into balance. Cave Creek is balanced. Surprise is balanced. Paradise Valley, bottom end of balance, but they're rich, so we don't care about them. Queen Creek, Goodyear, Maricopa, Buckeye. These are all your buyers markets. All right. 3 of those are trending down, being Queen Creek, Goodyear, and Buckeye, all trending down. Buckeye, wow, 7%, and they're at 65. Definitely where you want to go for the deals, boys and girls. All right. And then Maricopa's up 7%. One people out there who are doing very well right now is the builders. All right. The builders tend to be, even though they're a smaller size of the overall market, they have more sales this year by this time than they did last year by about 1,000. Right. And so then builders are giving out some pretty good deals and what like that. They are willing to sell. I almost think they've gone to that business model. It's not about selling the home. Right, they're selling you a loan packaged in a home. All right, so that's how they're going to make their money. Right, and they're willing to pay the rates down a bit to get that across. But their turnaround is a lot better. We're not looking at the 14 months that we had before. All right, it's pretty much, put the money down on a lot. You could be getting a house in 6 months. All right, so, and a lot of good incentives. Right, so do not be afraid to go take a look at builders right now if you are not on a tight time frame. And even then, I'm getting reports that some of the builders are building spec homes right now, which means you could walk on there and have a house ready to go that you don't have to wait 6 months for. All right. Everything else, work the tours. Just remember, if you have signed a buyer broker with an agent and whatnot, if you walk onto some of these builder sites, all right, without your agent, the builder may not give you any compensation for that. Right, if you wanted to bring your buyer's agent in on board. And depending on your buyer's brokerage, you could be opening yourself up to needing to write them a check because you do have a signed agreement with them. All right, we've covered this under buyer broker. All right, I'm reading articles about right there where how exactly are brokerages going to wind up suing their buyers when their buyers decide to not use the agent after signing that agreement? Are they going to even bother to? If you don't enforce the contract, if there's at least not an institutional or cultural knowledge that that is a contract that does get enforced, will everybody just ignore it? Sort of like speed limit signs. All right. That's one of those fun bar conversations. Love to find a friend that I could have that level of conversation with who was in real estate and bitter and jaded like me. All right, maybe I'll find somebody out there. All right, let's go back to the service thing, all right? Because like I was saying, these guys and their, oh no, I'm a sales agent. Oh no, we're a service industry. All right, the market is demanding that people at least show the service side of their business. All right? I distinctly remember whining and sniveling years ago about all the shit I had to do on my transactions on the background, but that I had this belief at the time that I wanted it to be as painless as possible for my client, right? And so I would joke, I get paid, so I stay up at 2 o'clock in the morning staring at the ceiling, worrying about the roof inspection so you don't have to. Right? That was part of the service I provided. Not quite tongue-in-cheek joking on that because it actually was really a bit of reality. Well, now the problem is, since the customer base as a whole, right, doesn't understand what we do because we've been doing all that. We've been internalizing the pain and suffering. Everybody is sitting out there saying, now we need to sit there and explain to the customer base, this is what we do. These are all the little tasks that happen to get this done. So there's going to be a paradigm shift right there. Let me tell you what, a lot of agents are not going to feel comfortable having that conversation and explaining all the little bells and whistles and stuff. And I think if you guys have been watching this for the last 165 episodes, you guys will got a pretty good understanding of at least, what the real estate side actually is. It's not selling sunset. We're not just showing you pretty kitchens, right? We're not just unlocking doors. All right. So, I'm considering like maybe we need to start doing a couple episodes. There's that the big long list of 170 things that real estate agents do, and I caught at least 5 things that they don't cover on that. But is individual agents going to be able to bring the level of service that now that we're showing the consumer this is what we do, the consumer's going to start expecting that. Now, I'll be honest with you. I think there's a lot of agents out there who are quite happily living in an environment where they weren't expected to do these things, even though they knew they should. Right? Because that's how they can go and work multiple buyers at the same time. Right? That's just my personal opinion. The people who have been pushing back, oh, I'm in sales, tend to be the ones who are team leads. They got minions to do that kind of stuff, or they're trying to work multiple people at the same time. They're at the position where they want to sit there. They want you to get in their car, see the house, sign the paper, and don't bother me till closing. Right? That's what these people. Those are the salespeople. Right? That's the salesperson mentality that they have. That I see out there. Right. The service industry side of the house is coming in. It's like you literally do not have enough cycles in the day, right, to service that customer at the level that they are going to start demanding they be serviced at, because they're paying you now. Before, the buyer was not really interested in how much you did for them, because ultimately they just wanted the damn house. Now they're going to be seeing, hey, that's my money. What am I paying you for? Now, I'm sure I've shared the story. I've had a couple of people who were on the buyer side who would sit there and come out, well, you don't really do anything, and you're going to get this check, so why don't you turn around and give that back to me? All right, and I'd tell them no. And they would be shocked and amazed and wander off going, wait, well, Ray's just greedy. It's like, no, you don't have any understanding of what I do and what my overhead is. All right, and what my opportunity costs of dealing with you are. Right. So this is the big paradigm change we're going to see in the industry. On top of all of this, is it going to be better for the consumer? Yes, the ones who have the money to pay for it are going to have a much better experience. All right. Hey, if you don't have the money, you're going to have. I'm not going to say you're going to have a worse experience. I can't just say, oh, for you, the rest of you guys, it's going to be a desolate wasteland, all right? But when you start hearing about the scenarios where something went bad, right, it's going to be because of those individuals who did not have an agent, right? The people who are coming in there saying, oh, well, we bought the house and it was trashed out, all right? Remember the conversation we had about what goes on in the UK, right? The UK, you don't have a buyer's agent, and you're pretty much buying the house as is, where is, all right? So people coming in there without representation are going to come into more and more of those scenarios. They're going to look at something and not have the expertise of an agent with them, pointing that out, saying, that's a problem. See those little dirt things coming down from the ceiling and stuff like that? That's not dust, right? Those are termite tubes. Or should I say, evidence of wood-destroying organisms, right? Because I'm not an entomologist, and I can't tell you what a termite tube looks like, even though I do know that I've seen a lot of little dirt tubes coming down out of the grounds, and people with experience have said those are termite tubes, but I cannot tell if every little dirt tube coming down out of the ceiling is an actual termite tube. Could just be a stalactite. So, anyways, that's the kind of experience, the experience. So people are going to be going out there. We're going to see open houses are going to suddenly become a thing. All right, open houses might be the only time you get to see a house. All right, because remember, one of these changes that are coming in from the new buyer-broker agreement and the new change of NAR is that for an agent to show you a house, you have to have a signed buyer-broker. Right? That's not us saying, hey, we want a buyer-broker before we work with you. That's the seller saying, you don't get in my door unless it's an open house or you're coming in with another agent that you have a relationship with, a contractual relationship with. Right? I really think that's a little poison pill that NAR snuck in on that. Right? Not complaining about that one. I like that. All right, that's going to be good for agents. It's going to be bad for looky-loos. All right, it's going to be bad for people who, oh, we're going to buy in 6 months. We just want to start looking around. Yeah, okay, sign here. All right, still like to see a retainer on that just to really scare those people off. All right, but that's going to be a really, really, really interesting change. We might see more of that 72 sold business model. You get 2 hours to look at this house, and everybody else is looking at it in the same 2 hours. We can start seeing that. All right. So there's been discussion on those things. It'd be nice if I only had to do a 2-hour open house. All right. Show up 30 minutes early, get the sign set up. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I open the door. Everybody comes through. I hand them a flyer. 4 o'clock, I chase the last ones out, close the door. Sorry, you were in line. It's the closing time is over. And kick back and wait for the offers. If we go back into one of those sellers markets again, all right, you're going to see that get real, real popular again. So, anyways, it's but the service beyond sanity part. How far is an agent going to be willing to go? Right? Somebody pointed out to me as I was out there for like 8 hours or something like that, helping this guy pack and move and then get him over, right? Because he's an elderly gentleman. He doesn't have a lot of support, right? Normally we just tell somebody, hire a moving company and have them do that for you, right? Is that a little bit too far out of the way? I mean, am I going insane, right? Thinking that might need to be the new normal, right? That I need to start offering advice that I'm qualified to give, all right? Outside the normal bounds of real estate, right? I'm starting to have a whole bunch more fiscal questions. Hey, once I sell this house, what should I do with this money? You should call your investment guide, right? What would I do? I would do this. But you, because I don't know your situation, should really call somebody to figure out how to manage your money, right? But we've had so much of the advice on the listing side. Hey, this is what you need to do. You need to, declutter. You need to depersonalize. You need to do something about that carpet. All right. You need to do this, that, and the other thing. Now we're going to start seeing that a little bit more on the buyer side. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Because before we kept that all hid. Okay. Talking to the other side, getting a home inspection, going through the home inspection myself, right? Looking at the things that I think are points of concern that you might not think are a point of concern. Looking at the things that I think you might come up with, all right? If I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this home inspection and I'm looking at a hot water heater that needs to be replaced, the first question you're going to ask me at the walkthrough after the inspection is, how much is that going to cost? All right? I'm in a position where I can say, that hot water heater at Home Depot costs this much, and it costs this much with these people to install. That's the price tag of that dead hot water heater. All right. People don't know that I had to research that the night before because I read the home inspection the night before. All right. On the flip side, on the seller side, get a copy of the home inspection. I'm going through it too. So when my seller asks me, hey, if they ask for the hot water heater to be replaced, how much is that going to cost me? I still have to have that number for them. So this is what we're going to start telling you guys about that we're doing more. Okay, this is hopefully you'll start respecting us. All right, not just saying, well, yeah, anybody can just fog up a mirror and be a real estate agent. Because trust me, those people are gone. All right, they're all wandering in. They're the ones who are going, oh no, don't worry, you'll be fine. You'll be grand. It'll be a kerfuffle and everything will be exactly the way it was before, where all I have to do is I just got to answer the phones when I get around to it, and I'll just let everything go to voicemail and call them back at my time. No, you're going to suddenly start having to answer that phone more. All right. You're going to start having to be a little bit more responsive. All right. This is good for the consumer at the end once we get through this pain point. Right. So, and I think it's good for the industry overall. The analogy that I have going in my head is when NAR came out and stated, we're offering a settlement. That's the asteroid hitting, right? The dust cloud encompasses the Earth on July 1st if this all goes into effect. And you're going to watch the dinosaurs start dropping. They'll be fine for a couple months until their pipelines start drying up, right? And you're going to start seeing dinosaurs die out. You're going to start seeing some of the smaller scavengers, right? You might think, normally dead dinosaurs would be a good day for scavengers and stuff like that. But, they need somebody else to make that kill for them, all right? They're going to start dying out, right? So what you're going to wind up is a bunch of lean, mean, evolved mammals, hopefully with a little bit of frontal lobe action and the ability to pick up a femur and club something with it, and start moving on to the new normal. So, all right. I'm going to keep this one short today. I got an agent who just started up, and I've got some special training going on him for this afternoon. I would like to get some lunch in me before that happens. So, once again, thank you guys very much for paying attention to my show. All right. Hopefully this show is of a service to you. If nothing else, pure entertainment value. All right. And you can thank me by referring me out if you know anybody needs help. And of course, you're always watching children and pet around water, especially if I know you. I don't want to go to your kid's funeral, right? You're watching yourself when you drive into something flooded because I don't want to go to your funeral, or I have to make fun of you for the rest of your life because you were the idiot who had to be rescued by the helicopter, right? You guys are always working your circles. You are my circle. Hopefully I'm part of yours, right? And we're all going to have a great weekend. So catch you guys later, and thank you very much.